Hello and welcome to WhatCulture Gaming. I'm Josh, joined as ever by the great man Ewan Patterson, because unfortunately today we have some quite sad news. EA have laid off around 350 of their employees across the marketing and publishing divisions. This obviously comes in the wake of Activision making a very similar move. In their case, it was around 800 employees around the same divisions. So, it's not really been a great start for the video game industry as a year. The games have been good, but internally and business-wise, it has been quite like the disaster. And it's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of tragic in like a lot of ways, not just because people have lost their jobs obviously, but it sort of seems like kind of foreboding. And obviously layoffs have been a major part of like the industry for a long time now, and they're tragically expected. Like every single year after a crunch period, after a game is released, there is a lot of layoffs because the studio can't support them. And you and like, what's your initial takeaway from this? Because like it's almost to the point now where I'm kind of like numbed by it. It's happened so much, and that's so guttering to say.
I think the most shocking thing about it is that this is unique to the gaming industry, this kind of cycle of crunch and then expecting all your developers just to go, and then it doesn't kind of breed any kind of sense of like safety or security, and that's obviously very unfortunate because the games industry is the most successful entertainment industry in the world right now. There is no reason why these layoffs should be happening as frequently as they are, but it's the nature of the beast. And the thing that I noticed that was really frustrating about this, I think Jason Schreier pointed out in his report for Kotaku that these layoffs at EA happened literally a week after GDC, which would have been a fantastic place for people to network and find new opportunities. And it's just awful, especially like with Activision recording record profits and deciding to lay off so many people as well. And the marketing thing in particular, I think is very interesting because this comes 2 weeks after EA admitted they paid $1 million was it to Ninja stream Apex Legends.
The marketing thing is like a very strange beast because obviously like EA have had huge layoffs in that area. Activision have. Does this sort of indicate like a kind of change in how marketing for video games is going to work? Like you said, they paid Ninja $1 million, which sounds like a lot for one person, but is effectively a drop in the bucket when marketing budgets are taken into account, which are often sometimes as much as the actual games production itself, like in the tens and tens of millions. So if you look at a company like EA who can drop a release like Apex Legends without any promotion and just overnight, and a lot of people will play it, and if anything, it benefited from no promotion, because they even said like if you market this game as an EA free-to-play battle royale game, that's going to turn a lot of people off. But if you let it speak for itself or let influencers / streamers speak for it, that is an entirely different beast. It perhaps makes you trust the game more, and it costs them obviously much less.
Yeah, and the other thing as well is that EA, I kind of think, the way Activision have gone recently, where they only really have Call of Duty and a select few titles, they're one of the most successful video game publishers in the industry, and yet they seem to hate video games. And EA seem to be going down a similar route, I think, because they have their two most bankable franchises at the moment, FIFA, the kind of the sports games that they have, which pretty much sell themselves anyway. You hear a new FIFA gets announced, people who are already invested in that series are going to invest in year in, year out. And FIFA Ultimate Team obviously makes squadillions as well, and that needs no marketing. At E3, even the presentations for these games are pretty much nothing. And then they also have Star Wars. Now, obviously, there's a lot more controversy with Star Wars that may not be as successful as EA had in mind, but Star Wars is an amazing IP, and they can literally say, we've got Star Wars, and people of that franchise are going to go, want to buy it, because that's the thing. And it's interesting as well, because Titanfall, kind of like you said, it kind of, the first two entries weren't that successful financially. Titanfall 2, they kind of sandwiched it in between, Battlefield 1 and
Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, I think.
Which was bonkers. And I think it's really, Apex Legends' success is really, really cool. But I'm kind of, it does worry me that this is the direction we could be going with kind of influencer culture and kind of rendering people working in marketing redundant.
Which is like, it's a nightmare. But EA, I think more so than Activision over the past year, have sort of had a nightmare when it comes to obviously PR and marketing campaigns in general. Like, say what you will about the Battlefield 5 marketing campaign, about the controversy surrounding it, but like, from just a base perspective, the trailers for that game, even without like the sort of political element, were sort of not good at actually selling you on what the game was. It presented this sort of like Fortnite-esque, Call of Duty-esque game, and they were like a far cry from the Battlefield 1 trailers, which I think set the tone and style of gameplay way more. And then you've got stuff like Anthem, where people have been looking at these gorgeous pre-release trailers and like the amount of customization and like the dev diaries that just didn't end up in the final game. So they've had a real kind of PR disaster on their hands. I'm pretty sure last year they were once again voted the world's worst company, or at least America's greatest company, which actually ties in with their internal email, which was acquired by Kotaku, where they said, "We have a vision to be the world's greatest games company. If we're honest with ourselves, we're not there right now. We have a lot of work to do with our games, our player relationships, and our business." Then going on about the layoffs, they said, "These are important but very hard decisions, and we do not take them lightly. We are friends and colleagues at EA. We appreciate and value everyone's contributions, and we are doing everything we can to ensure that we are looking after our people to help them through this period and onto the next
Isn't
step."
this the same company that literally gave their boss like a massive squadillion bonus at the start of the year as well?
I'm not probably. I mean, it's major CEOs, so yeah, I would assume so. Yeah, it's just they've talked about like the severance packages, and like they've talked about like how they're hoping to support the employees, but it hardly softens the blow when these problems seem so deep-rooted in the industry, like at large. Like it's just so difficult.
Completely agree. Obviously, our thoughts go out to those people affected by those layoffs as well. So
such a shame. But I guess on to slightly happier news, though, because this is a two-pronger, is the wild claims from Sony's new patents for backwards compatibility and digital trading. We've heard for a long time that they are looking to make the PlayStation 5 backwards compatible, perhaps for the entirety of their library, which is crazy.
This
but now
badly affects me, because I was always on Xbox, and then I got a PlayStation 4. So now what am I meant to do with that? I never had a PlayStation 1 or a PlayStation 2. What am I going to do with all this backwards and backwards stuff? You go back and buy it? That's too hard. It's too hard.
Well, like me, I traded all mine in, but fortunately, you might be saved here, Ewan, because they've just filed a patent for digital trading, which will allow you to trade in your games to other players and friends online. And the mad thing is, this works, apparently, even if you have a physical copy. You can make a digital version of it, which then you can sell to other people, which sounds like the future.
I have one question. I was going to say I have several questions for the ability, but I only have one. How can you trade in a physical... How can you make a physical release digital, and then they know for certain that it's the one thing that it now is, and you sell that? What's to stop people from basically making loads of digital versions of one physical thing and then selling it around?
To answer this question, I don't know.
There we go.
I really don't know, because obviously these are just patents. They've been filing them. This was originally filed back in 2015, so it's clear they've been thinking about this for a long time. I wonder when Microsoft announced their backwards compatibility for the Xbox One. I wonder if it was around the same time. I think it might have been. But yeah, so it's interesting that they've been thinking about this for a long time, and it's just been renewed, so it seems like they're actively pursuing this idea. Like you said, it seems like it's got a lot of problems, but at the same time, this is a better route to go down than locking your games off completely, like Microsoft tried to do back in 2013, which just didn't work. It wasn't really very nice.
Isn't that great little advert where they just handed the controller, the box, here's how you play with your friends on PlayStation. It's like, that was perfect. I'm actually kind of enthused by this idea. I'm not really one for like digital gaming. I only really pick up digital games if they're either free on the PSN or they're heavily discounted on it. But that's really cool. I quite like the idea of being able to just, if you've got friends that live far away, for instance, and you want to like give them a game, I think that's really cool.
That's it. I mean, that's the interesting part for me, because I don't really trade in games recently. We were talking about this in the office the other day, actually. I'm not sure how many of you guys out there like trading games. The last game I traded in was Killzone and Shadowfall. But before then, I used to have to rely on that to like actually buy new games. Like that was like my livelihood. I would just flog a load and get one game back. But obviously, there's going to be a lot of people still wanting to do that. That's why Sony's, like you said, their advert did really well. But going forward, this seems more sort of catered towards those people who want to share their games, because at the moment it's really hard to do that digitally, and Sony kind of don't like it if you share accounts and share games, because then they'll like clamp down on you. But this seems to be them opening up to the idea, and like sort of the idea of the game license not being attached to just one account anymore and being able to be spread around. Like you said, a lot of problems in that, though.
I was going to say, does this potentially spell the end for those retailers on the high street who specialize in trade and ability? I know we've heard a lot of problems with GameStop in the US recently, so yeah.
Funny you should say that, because Sony are also at the center of a mini controversy, I'd say. It's a little bit of a controversy, because they've just said that they are going to stop selling digital codes for their games.
That was it.
In stores. Which, it makes a lot of sense, because I don't even see them around really these days. Like, I don't go to a shop and see like codes for like, I don't know, what's even a downloadable game? Some downloadable game on there.
State of Decay.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I don't know what Sony's really going to do with this. It seems like a natural progression, but it's really not good for those stores as a whole. And, we've been, for years and years, for about 8 years now, we've been saying like the end of these regular game stores is coming. And now, between digital trade-ins, between backwards compatibility, sort of in general, trying to localize everything on one legacy console, that could be coming sooner than we thought. So actually, yeah, this news turned out to be way more depressing than I actually thought.
You mean you brought me in here with promises of such good tidings, joy, and banter, and I've literally left 5% sadder than I was when I originally came in.
Look, you'll be happy when I can share my copy of Jedi Fallen Order with you, kind of like digitally conjure one up from my physical manifestations. But either way, I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Where do you think the future of digital gaming is going? What do you think about EA? Will they be able to turn it around and become the world's greatest company? Or will they once again become the worst company in America, as voted for numerous times? Either way, while you're down there, could you give us a like, share, subscribe, and head over to WhatCulture.com for more lists, news like this every single day. Even if you don't though, I've been Josh.
I've been Ewan.
You've been watching WhatCulture Gaming, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Whoa. Where's he gone?